So let's have a play of this together. If you can't keep up with me with the single note, just go for a normal strum every time. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Change chord there. 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And it should be nice and straightforward, this one. Everyone should be able to do this, even if it's one of your first ever songs. But try this Bob Dylan style folky pattern if you're up to it. So let's play that together now, really slow. In 2, 3, 4.
I was never one to make a New Year's resolution. It always just felt like this kind of silly, overly formal way of saying something pretty generic that always just boiled down to like, I'm gonna get healthier, or I'm gonna be a better person. Like, of course, these are things we always strive for, but I feel like slapping a label on it or a time limit isn't always the most productive way of accomplishing that. But for whatever reason, going into this year, I decided to make some real New Year's resolutions in a more formal way than I'd ever done before. And I failed all of them. I mean, look, some of these resolutions were bigger failures than others, and I didn't necessarily expect to accomplish every one of them. But even the easy ones, I just failed. And even though I was enthusiastic at the beginning of the year, writing these goals down for the first time in my life and trying to hold myself accountable this time, I don't know, it was nice to have that motivation and that inspiration at the beginning of the year to really challenge myself to take all of this on. It's a good thing, and I can see why the New Year's resolution has that appeal, to motivate yourself to better yourself and get stuff done. But I don't know, when you get to this point in the year, when you're sitting here in December and looking back at all the missed opportunities, the chances you might have had to work on this stuff, or the times you tried and just failed to do it, I don't know, it kind of just sucks. Like, I think what's good about a New Year's resolution is to be able to set that goalpost for yourself. That this is where I want to be, this is who I want to be by the end of the year. But when you set that goalpost 100 yards away, and by the end of the year, it's 100 yards away, I don't know. It makes me question if I even should have put down that goalpost at all. Because in a lot of ways, I do feel like I've grown this year. I've become better overall, more confident in myself. I've improved on a whole lot of different things, but when I look at this list of things that I wrote down, that would be hard evidence of my improvement and growth as a person, and every single one of them is a failure. Now it just leaves me feeling kind of shitty at the end of the year, and like I've made no progress, even if I thought I did. And why is it that genuinely I feel like everything I want the most is the stuff that I'm not good at? Like, seriously, sometimes I feel like I'm at a natural disadvantage. I'm just bad at it. And I'm sure the easy advice to give to someone in that situation is like, nobody's good when they start out. Of course nobody's good, and you have to practice to get better, and I believe in all of that. But like, what if you're really uniquely bad at something? Like, I'm joking a little bit, but there is a point in time where I feel like I've tried so hard at so many different things that I want to be good at. I have that passion and that drive to try and better myself, and it still just doesn't happen. Eventually you feel like you're just beating your head against the wall, trying to make something happen that you were never cut out for. And I feel like still people are going to tell you to never give up, and of course you're not going to be great when you start. It takes years sometimes to get better at this stuff, but some of these things are things that I have been working at for years, and if I'm still not good at it, I don't know, I start to question, like, when is that persistence an admirable thing, and when is it just time to let it go? There's a video I filmed and never posted at 1 a.m. on January 31st this year. I was basically just feeling in one of those late night, reflective, kind of sad boy moods. And in an effort to capture something that felt authentic, I decided to start recording. And watching this video back now, in December of this year, I felt amazed and kind of heartbroken, honestly, by how much stock I was putting into this year, 2025, to be the year. Like, I was really just talking a little bit about my history with YouTube and with doing this channel, and how I had already been doing it for 6.5 years at that point, and it's still to this day one of my biggest passions. Really, nothing has rivaled how excited and passionate I can get about this thing, which is exactly why it's scary to have done this for so long and not made any, like, noticeable amount of progress. And that's okay, but I've been struggling to figure out if this thing never works out, which I always knew it was never likely to. But if it really never works out, I've only been getting older, I've only been doing this for longer and longer, and I just don't know what else to do. And watching that 1 a.m. video again was disheartening to feel like I believed that was the last chance. And seeing how invigorated he was to accomplish these goals finally, how excited and passionate he was about it, and also how openly scared he was that nothing was going to change this year. Well, now I'm here, and nothing did change. And watching myself get genuinely a little bit emotional about the idea of nothing changing and working so hard and having it not work out once again, I don't know. I feel like I'm completely back to where I was a year ago, but with maybe a little bit less ideas and inspiration this time around. And again, I'm still not quitting. I don't know what to do at this point. I'm turning 26 by the time this video is done, and I've been doing YouTube for 7.5 years, and it will always be my dream, but I sat down at the beginning of the year talking about how if it doesn't happen this year, then I gotta get a grip, be a little more realistic, and I don't have to throw this all away, but I gotta do something else, and that just feels bad. I tried to hold myself to it this year, to really make it happen, and I tried to make it happen for 7 years, but this felt like my best and maybe final opportunity to do it. And you know, it's not the final opportunity. I'm still doing it right now, but where do I go after this year? the same place I started the year. And I do wish things were different. I wish I had accomplished more this year. There's a lot of questions that I still have to answer in life that I felt like could definitely be answered this past year, and they weren't. But I guess that is how life goes, that there's some questions that'll take a long time or never really be answered. I don't know, sometimes I think there's not much point in like writing it down or trying to keep track of these questions and answer them in some kind of definitive way, because they're always morphing and changing. Sometimes the question changes, sometimes the answer changes. But I never feel like it's something you set out to solve and then answer it. I feel like it's something that someday you're going to wake up and realize that you answered it a long time ago. I don't know if any of that makes sense, but my point is that there's no such thing as the year. The year where everything's going to be accomplished, the year where questions are going to be answered. The year isn't a thing. Years aren't real. And like I was saying from the beginning, you might not have accomplished something this year, but there's no reason you can't do it next year. There's nothing you didn't do now that you can't do a year from now. Deadlines are made up, and they're kind of pointless when it comes to things like this. For a New Year's resolution, it's just a way of saying that you want to be a little bit better. And to set that goal for yourself, it's a good thing to push yourself in the right direction. The truth is, I wish I had better answers right now, a better takeaway at the end of all of this, but at the end of this year, I still really don't know. I don't know exactly who I am or who I'm going to be another year from now, and I think that's okay. I wish I had accomplished more, and I wish I could head into this next year with a more concrete plan of who I've set out to be and how I'm gonna accomplish all of that. But the fact is that no matter how many times I set these goals and I fail, I end up looking back, and in spite of those failures, I somehow do feel closer to who I want to be. Maybe it's not the leaps and bounds of progress that I set out to accomplish at the beginning of the year, but I know that every year I get closer.